there! Welcome to the Sisterhood of the Traveling Bantha. We are your hosts, Denise,
And Rexy, and we are recording with special support from Council Member Mark Collier.
and we're broadcasting from our galaxy to yours.
May the force be with you.
Always. Throwing me off because I don't have that mental.
No, we're good. Hey,
What is up, Herd?
how's it going?
Oh, goodness gracious.
I'm excited.
So, I'm not sure if you guys know or not, but there's a brand new show called out.
Called out? It's called out, and we are calling it out right now.
We are talking about the Acolyte.
Yes, and hopefully you guys have seen the Acolyte. And we are going to be talking about, like, very quick right now, spoiler warning. We will be talking about the Acolyte episode 1 and 2. Yes.
So,
If you have not seen it,
I'm smacking microphones. If you have not seen it, go ahead and back out. Save this for after you do watch it, or if you don't mind spoilers, join the ride.
but this is your warning. Warning, 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 warning. Beep, 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 beep. There's going to be spoilers ahead. So if you don't like spoilers or you haven't seen it, just, come back later. That said, let's get into season 1, episode 1.
1 and 2.
What was that first one called?
I am
My turn
looking
now.
that up right now because I don't know, that would have been helpful to have. We kind of decided last minute to discuss the Acolyte.
Yeah. And we say last minute, like, I think I messaged Denise an hour ago and I was like, hey, what are we talking about? And because we had a few things that we were kicking around. And then, and she was like, you know what, we should do Acolyte 1 and 2 and just, like, it'll give people a week to watch it and we'll make sure and give spoiler warnings. And, those of you who want to hang out and talk about it with us, it's available.
Yes. And so okay. First episode, number 1 is called Lost and Found.
Lost and Found.
And episode 2 is Revenge and Justice.
Ooh, okay.
So, the titles play along so well with finding out we have twins. Asha and May.
Mm-hmm.
Not Asha.
Osha.
I keep
Because they
saying
call
it
her
wrong.
Oshi, I think.
Yeah, Oshi.
Yeah,
and I
Oshi,
think
Osha.
Soul calls her Asha. And everybody else calls her Osha.
Oh, that might be the accent.
I think so, but I like how he says it.
Yeah. That's fair.
Did you know, fun fact, that actor learned English to play Star Wars?
No kidding. I'm going to talk about dedication.
I mean, I wouldn't pass up a role of a lifetime.
Oh
to be
my
in
gosh.
Star Wars.
No, I totally learned a new language to be able to be in Star Wars. And I mean, like, what a role he has. I'm loving him, and he's kind of giving me kind of some Qui-Gon vibes.
I'm seeing
I dig it.
a lot of comparisons to Qui-Gon. He's definitely more emotional.
Yeah.
He has more attachment.
Mhm.
I want to say he's more of a free thinker, which I find really cool that he's also the one that is teaching the Jedi.
Yes. So again, it's like Qui-Gon, thinking for himself and then teaching,
But he was actually teaching all the
I
younglings.
know, the whole class.
Oh, I loved
Which
it.
means that's going to be a whole class of younglings who are taught to, like, kind of think for themselves and question.
He's just a ray of sunshine.
He is. I love him.
And soul means
And
sun.
soul, yeah, means sun. So,
It's just so perfect. And he has this yellow, like, High Republic robe.
oh, I know. He is. He's just very sunny. You are correct.
So, for a lot of people, this is towards the end of the High Republic era.
Mhm.
So I know, I saw somebody talking about how people were complaining that the High Republic is like the height of the Jedi era.
Yeah.
Like that is like peak Jedi. We had our
It was
best
like
Jedi.
the golden age
Yes.
of the
And-
Jedi. They were the most, like, what we think of, like, idealistically as the
Mhm.
Jedi. That's what they were. But this is at the end of that.
But there were a few things that were said in the first 2 episodes that kind of make you like question, like, especially when Venestra
Mhm.
and Soul are talking. She's talking about this will give ammunition to our political rivals.
Oh, right.
Finding out that a Jedi was murdered by an ex-Jedi, which,
Mm-hmm.
spoiler alert, it was their twin sister, but like,
Yep.
we can start seeing the political plays.
Yeah, it's already
So
in.
I think my prediction, calling it now, is that this storyline is going to lead to the fall of the
Oh,
High
I think
Republic.
so too. Yeah,
I think that
this
where
is
we're.
so close to that next
It's
age of the
like
Jedi
a-
anyway, and you can see, like what you were just saying, you find there's more restrictions right now.
Mhm.
They're having to listen more to the council and less able to go off and kind of do their own thing. Whereas, like, when you read a lot of these High Republic books, we've been reading a lot of them, you learn there's so many chances for the Jedi out there to go off on their own path,
Mhm.
their own, like there are some who just like completely reject the order and they become way seekers. And they're following the path as they feel like it presents
And they
itself to
work
them.
with the Jedi too.
Yeah,
They'll
they're
do
not
missions with the
ostracized.
Jedi. They can have their own, and even in the books, like there has been people who stepped away from the Jedi,
Mhm.
and it's not a big deal. There have been people
Right.
who have vocalized struggles, doubts, fears, and it's been communicated. So we're
Mhm.
starting to see kind of that barrier, that wall being put
Yeah.
up now.
The decline of letting Jedi have so much freedom outside of the council. And
Because even when they were so I watched this like several times. My son is obsessed with it. Even when Soul goes to get Osha. You know why I also have a problem with Osha?
because it's the occupational
Yes!
champion. Yeah.
Follow all those stupid
Call her Oshi.
Oshi. When he
Oshi's
goes to
cute.
find Oshi. He was also talking about, well, let me go and do that. She's like, no. He wanted to go and find out what happened at the planet. And
Yes.
she's like, no, you need to come back and let the council decide. We can't just go off and do something.
Right.
That's not how we're doing it anymore. We
have to follow this structure.
Yeah.
And whereas before, he would have probably been like, hey, this is what I'm doing. And then he would have gone and done it.
And then been like, oh, okay, good luck. May the force be with you. Like,
right.
for
Let us know.
light and life.
For light and life.
Yeah. And be like, on your way. But that's not. And it's so weird. Like, so being just in phase 1, and we know Venestra from phase 1 of the books.
Yep.
Going from this 16-year-old youthful girl to,
oh man,
she's very, like, you can tell she has gone through some stuff.
Yes.
And she's just so different in that aspect.
She's very poised and reserved, but it's reserved and like it feels like she's holding back like just this flood of something. Like it's like there's almost too much restraint.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can tell that might burst at some point, and then it might be really bad.
I think so too. She's gonna come out and pull out her fluffing whip.
Which I think is rad, by the way.
her lightsaber whip. I don't think we're gonna see it though until like the end of the series.
Yeah,
I think it's gonna be towards the end.
I really hope that we do get to see it.
Oh, it's already been in previews.
Oh wait, no, yeah, we did. Well, seeing it in previews doesn't necessarily mean we will see it in the show, though. Sometimes there are things.
It's gonna be in the show. They've confirmed it because
good.
I know this because fanboys were like, they're making up this stuff for Star Wars.
What?
Nope.
The lightsaber whip has been.
Nope. They have not made it up. It has been in the books. They have had people who have used like energy whips in the Clone Wars.
Right.
Like, this ain't new. It was even also in the extended universe. So fanboys, hush your mouth. Same with shields. There are lightsaber like shields.
That's freaking cool.
Phase 2. I just came across it today and I was like,
okay. Anyway. But also, like the problem that I have with, I think with you even having to make that argument is science and technology are always evolving. So even if they did just make up this, okay, they didn't. We know that they didn't. But even if they did make up this lightsaber whip, okay, technology has evolved. New things get made up all the time.
People were like upset that they're making this up for Star Wars and it's not true Star Wars.
Anything is true Star Wars once they have decided it's canon.
It is
That is kind of the beauty of a franchise that evolved.
literally science fiction, and anything can
Yeah,
happen.
anything can happen. Anything is possible. And I mean, like, 200 years ago, this wasn't possible. This would have been absolute magic that they would have made up for a future storyline.
We would
And
have
now
been deemed
we're
witches
podcasting.
and with witchcraft.
Yeah.
You and your witchcraft.
Witchcraft. Technology.
We just
Technology
typed up today.
advances.
But
And I think, we're probably preaching to the choir when it comes to our viewers and our listeners. We know you're with us, but, technology advances. Star Wars is sci-fi, which means it's full of technology.
So thank you for putting up with our rant.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Vanessa, Soul. We're gonna go through some of our favorite characters.
Mm-hmm.
Yord.
Okay, I have like a gamut of emotions when it came to Yord. When we first met him, I just kind of wanted to shake him and be like, what is wrong with you? But then, like, the more we watch, the more I like him. He seems like he is very in control with his abilities and very, like, cocky, which I don't love, but also aware that he's good. He's talented with his abilities. He seems in tune with the Force. He seems like in tune with himself. And this is something that, we have already talked about, but very like, this is the way it is. This is the way things go. And I'll let you take that over because that's your story. Yep.
So, watching it and if you follow my TikTok, it's on there too. But watching the show with my husband and kid, my husband were just like, oh my God, Yord is so annoying. I did not like him the first time I watched him. The second time we watched him, that was like, ugh, he's so cocky and such a know-it-all and all this stuff. And my son just turns over and he's like, what's wrong with him? We're like, well, he's kind of a know-it-all. He's like, because he's smart and he knows it. And my kid got super upset that we were like, saying all this stuff. But then, like, the next morning, as I was thinking about it more and I rewatched some of it, I was just like, this makes absolute sense why my son loves it. Mm-hmm. So because my kid is neurodivergent, he has ADHD, he has some of the same traits as yours. Mm-hmm. Very by the book. You follow the rules, you have procedures for everything, you don't veer off the plan, and
that's Yord. That's how
Yord.
And
that's why Jedi. My kid loves Yord, because he's so by the book and you follow the rules.
Once again, we see representation being very important. And Owen can see himself in a character, and he loves it.
And I'm really hoping that I think Yord is going to have some of the best character development over the season. I think by the end of the season, being with
he's going to be with Soul
and Jakeen. No, it's not Jakeen.
Oh, Fluff. I forgot.
Being with Soul and his Padawan. I gotta look it up now. Give me a second.
Okay. Jackie. Yes. Okay.
And I think he is going to loosen up and realize that everything doesn't always have to be by the book. And
sometimes you can deviate a little bit and adapt to the situation, right?
Learn how to adapt. And I'm really hoping that happens, because it's also something we're trying to teach our son. Is being adaptable.
And that would be a neat thing for him to see in this character he relates to.
I've also seen, so all over like the Star Wars algorithms, like views on Yord have been, there's a lot of love and there's a lot of dislike.
Yeah.
Love, because he's a strong Jedi, you can obviously tell that. But a lot of people are saying he has cop vibes. Like that brand new cop, like coming on, trying to prove
a little bit of that, like,
and
come at me, bro. Oh, I didn't get that from him.
I didn't get that either. I just got this, like, he's just an overly confident person. But some people were like, it's cop vibes. I'm like, I can see that when he went to go get Oshi. Damn it, I'm gonna be doing that all night.
It's fine.
Osha, like, I can see that with his Padawan. He was by the books, because that's who he is. And you can even tell between the interactions that Yord had with OSHA was
I
that.
think I see the relation, right? Because cops tend to give you that kind of jock vibe, right? Like a little
Okay,
bit,
yeah,
maybe too much status in their own heads.
yeah,
And Yord very much comes across as being very arrogant, right? Like
yeah.
being very full of himself and a little too much status in his own mind, maybe. I think I can see how that relates. I like Yord more.
But I don't know. I think he's gonna have a lot of growth this
I
season.
think so too.
That is
Yeah.
another one of my predictions. is-
Also, he's pretty. I like his hair. I like his tummy.
Put your shirt on, Yord.
Shut up, Yord. I do like him, but he is one that is. It's a character that's easy to make fun of. And it's so funny when the other ones do it. Shut up, Yord.
They all just look
Put
at
your
him
shirt
like,
on, Yord.
calm down. You get like, it's
Right?
not
Like, it's
that
alright. Take a breath.
serious. But like, yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely see the back and forth. And I mean, if he veers too much that way, he is gonna put off serious, like cop on a power trip
It
vibe.
could turn. I don't
So I
want
hope
him to
he
turn into a
doesn't.
mace.
Oh, me neither. But that is the vibe that I'm seeing. That's like, oh, I don't want that. That's like cop on a power trip, right?
So I can see where
I want him to loosen up, and
I think
you know,
I think
because
so.
he's so strong and he's so talented. If he could learn to adapt as well,
Yeah.
man, he'd be such a good,
I don't
strong
know.
Jedi.
I don't know where he's gonna go.
Me
I
neither.
think he's gonna.
We've only had 3 episodes so far, so well, here, I mean, at this point in time, I guess we've had 2.
Yeah. So let's talk about the elephant in the room. The death within the first 5 minutes.
Ugh. Are you kidding me? We were watching this together, right? Because we went to a watch party, and you guys that have followed our TikTok, you guys have seen our reactions, but we were so excited about
Yeah.
Trinity. Wait, what? Not
Trinity.
What's her name?
Indira.
Indira. I see her and I'm like, oh, Trinity. Because that's where I first met her, you know. But we were so excited. We have been talking about her being in this show since we saw the first preview.
I was so excited to have an older woman being a badass. Like we do have a lot of that in Star Wars.
We do,
We have
but
Azera,
man,
but-
she is so like, and she's an entirely new, different character.
Yeah. And she's Trinity.
Now she's a corpse.
I was so mad.
She's
But
one with the Force.
But that scene does say a lot about what the High Republic was. And they did resort to their lightsabers as little as possible. They were, it was about
They were peaceful.
Yeah, they didn't want to use their lightsabers unless they had to. And even May called that out.
Yeah, she was like, a Jedi doesn't pull his lightsaber
And she's
unless
like-
they intend to kill.
And she's like, you're right. And she puts it down.
Mm-hmm.
And then she throws the dagger
Yeah.
at the barkeep. And she's like,
Gets distracted, and then May swoops in for the kill and kills off our girl in like the first 5 minutes of the show.
I was so mad. I couldn't get over it the whole episode. I was still like
I
reeling
know.
in on that fact that they did that. I was like,
If
what
there
is
could have been like a little camera pointed at us for that episode, it's like, especially during the commercials, we're looking at each other like, Indira,
what?
are you fluffing kidding me? Like, what? 3 minutes? 5 minutes? Are you kidding me? I do want to talk about her though, like her fight scene there, you know, like, oh man, it was so Trinity. She
Well-
just had that, and I wonder if it's because she learned so much for that movie,
I
maybe.
think
The
that-
way she moved though, I could see those fight scenes all over again.
But there's a lot more of like the whole samurai and like kung fu.
Yeah.
And, like you can tell they had a lot of
I think
inspiration for
They
this
had the
fight
same
style.
maybe in the Matrix though, because the way that she moved was
Yeah,
very
movement.
fluid. I know, that was my fault.
But it was like so very like methodical how they weren't the aggressors. They
Mm-mm.
were defensive.
Yeah,
Which goes along the line of Jedi's being peacekeepers and not the aggressors.
right. And it took a lot. I mean, it took us all the way into Palpatine, right? Before the Jedi finally became the aggressors.
I think after this they're going to be the aggressors.
You think?
After the show.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense.
So you want to hear a funny story?
Also considering, I guess, where we are with the books too. Huh, but-
You want to hear a funny story
Yeah.
that involves Indira?
Yeah.
So my husband doesn't watch Star Wars. And I was like, you gotta watch it. We've got Trinity. Like Trinity's in Star Wars. I already knew what was gonna happen. But he's like, oh, okay. And then it opens up and he's like, man, she even fights like her.
Yeah.
He's like, so cool. And then he sees her light up her lightsaber and he's like, are you flipping kidding me? They give her a boring ass blue lightsaber. Yeah. He just a blue lightsaber. And then he's like, they're going to kill her. And then she died. He's like, I'm not even interested anymore.
Okay. Never watching him boycotting.
And he was so...
No, after hearing his opinion, I agree. Got like a purple one or something.
And then when he saw yours light up a yellow lightsaber, he's like, and this Tulbin gets a yellow one?
Okay. Just look at the temples. Right, and they all had yellow.
Well, like millennials ago.
Yeah.
Was common. But this series, a lot of them have yellow.
Oh, okay.
Yellow's a
So that has changed by
Yeah.
the time we get
Yeah.
here. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of High Republic Jedis, several of
I
them have
agree.
yellow and purple. But he was like, she gets morning blue and he gets yellow. Oh,
And also, he gets to live. She died so damn fast.
so
I wanted so much more of her. She's so cool.
so well.
I know. We just looked at each other. We were like,
What? But we knew she was gonna come back in flashbacks.
yeah.
Because it was in the previews, and we find out that May, the twin sister,
Mhm.
is hunting down these 4 Jedi.
Yep.
And
And
we
she
got
was one of them.
at some point learn about
She
him.
goes and visits
Torb.
Torb
Corbin.
in
and
the Jedi
Soul.
temple. And Soul,
was
yeah,
one of
she
the
visits
Jedi
him
too.
too. But she visits Torben in a temple a couple of times. No, one time, and then she's
It's
amazing.
so good.
And he's just like calmly floating there in midair.
Yeah. So talking about May and Asha. So during the previews, everything was all about May. And
Yeah.
then we see Asha, and
Mm-hmm.
they fake us out like 3 times, making us think it was the same person.
Oh my god, we kept thinking it was flashbacks, and we were like, okay, that's her. Nope, that's
Is
right
this a
now.
dual
That's
personality?
the flashback. Nope, that's not a flash. And then when we finally had a flashback, we were like, that's right now. And we were like, that's a flashback.
But then she has a vision of when they're little girls and they
Yeah.
recite the poem.
Mhm, at the
And-
tree. They're
yeah.
at that tree.
So I love this. I like that it is a twin. I totally think it's going to be a whole dyad relationship like Rey and Kylo.
Mm-hmm. I
A balance,
absolutely can see that.
a balance of the Force, this
Yep.
good and evil, fire and life.
Mm-hmm.
See what I did there?
Mm-hmm. But they are so combined as
Um,
in their little special little poem, right?
Yeah.
Always one, but born as two.
And they didn't know
So-
at this point that both of them were alive. They
Mm-mm.
thought one.
She thought May was dead.
So I saw a lot of outrage because I like to just seek out trolls on Star Wars and see
I like
what
how you're
kind of
just like battling through.
see what type of like crap they're throwing out to
Okay.
complain. And so this was one of the big complaints too. Was people were like, they gave away the biggest plot twist in the first 2 episodes that they're twins. I'm like, that's not the plot twist.
Right.
That is a
If you can figure that out immediately,
Well, no, it's
that's
not that
not the
they
plot.
figured it out.
That
They
is the plot.
literally tell you that they're twins. That's not the plot twist. The plot twist, I
That
think,
is a
gonna,
major part of the story,
that-
not the twist.
I
I need
think
this
the,
to make the story happen.
the plot twist is going to be we're going to find out something deeper about the magic because they
I
come from
want
the
so
coven.
much more. I want to know so much more.
I think we're going to there's going to be a plot twist with the coven that they come from and the Jedi, and then trying to save face into the politics. I think
Mhm.
that's where the twist is going to come in at the end, especially because at this point they don't tell you. They just said there was a fire.
Yeah.
May died.
Mm-hmm.
Osha lived.
Yep. And
But
her
now we-
entire family is dead.
Everybody's
right? Like,
dead.
The whole coven is gone.
And so, but now we learn, okay, the sister's alive. Her twin sister.
Mhm.
Why is she hunting them? Like, does she feel like the Jedi are responsible? Does she did Osha cause this?
Right.
Like,
Did
we
the
don't
Jedi somehow actually start something that
like
killed everybody?
were
Like,
they the cause
because
of the
they're
fire?
people, it
Yeah.
could have happened, right? Like,
We,
we don't know.
no.
We do find out, I think, towards the end of the second episode that there's these 4.
Yes, the
that
4
she-
Jedi that she's hunting.
Yeah. And it was Corbin,
Soul.
Indira, Soul, and
Kalanaka.
Planaka?
Yeah,
The
the
Wookiee. Yeah.
The Wookiee.
The Wookiee.
But like that just sounded like a baby dinosaur. You must Wookiee call. Because you're doing your baby dinosaur.
Recorded. It'll be a fun surprise when I edit.
Oh, if you're gonna hear it over the baby dinosaur.
I'll do it again.
No. I sound like I'm gonna.
He's gonna be in here. The Wookiee.
He did it all for the Wookiee.
The Wookiee. The Wookiee.
That got unhinged. Right.
Your face hurts a little now. Right here.
Okay. Oh, you know who else I really liked? Our smuggler, not the smuggler, the guy who made the poison.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch the show Good Place?
Mm-mm.
Oh, never
Is he
mind.
in it?
Yeah, he played the dumb guy character. It's very different from the role.
Yeah.
Like,
He's a fun character in this one though.
I think he knows a whole lot more than he's letting on.
Yeah.
I think there might be some force sensitivity in there.
Oh, you think? You think maybe that's how he's so good at the mixing that he does? You think
Not
maybe some of the
necessar-
powers?
I don't think it. I think maybe. I think he might have some sort of connection to somebody in the force because
Okay.
he understands like their ways
Mhm.
really well.
Okay.
Especially as he was trying to give May like advice on how to get him to acknowledge her while she's fighting air.
Oh yeah, that's right, huh? Yeah, because he had this like insight.
Yeah, he was like, give him something that nobody else can get, and so
Mhm.
she offers him up the poison to escape. And that's where we also lead to so what happened to the fire, because he would have rather drink this poison and die than continue living.
Mhm.
Like, what did
What
they
happened?
do that made them feel so guilty
Right. Why? I mean, he hasn't spoken to anybody
in
and
like 7 years?
Yeah.
He took I had this written down. He took it would help if I had the pages.
it was
open.
we heard
the
about the
vow.
vow. We heard about it
Yeah.
in the books.
Yep. Dang it, I should have been more organized. Hold on. There we go. It's the Barish vow.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Yep. And that's where they go off and just become deeper
Yeah.
connected with the force.
And so that was one of my like Easter eggs that ties into the High Republic books. It was first mentioned in a Darth Vader comic, but then actually, they elaborated on it a lot more in the book Into the Dark when Jedi Des Raiden took the vow to refocus himself after his the drain gear
Yeah.
incident. That
Yeah.
yeah.
I remember. Yeah, that was the first time I had ever heard of it. It was in that book.
Same here. The Vader, I don't really read the comics, so I
Mm-mm.
couldn't. I could
It
look
would
it
take
up.
so long to try to catch up on all the comics now.
Well, there's so many different comic lines, and there's so
Yeah.
many. It's way too much. But it is in like 3 Vader. It's just like mentioned. But yeah, to take a vow, like what made you feel?
What did you do?
So guilty.
Right. to take that kind of a vow, walk away from literally everything, and then drink poison
Yeah.
instead of continuing to live with whatever this is. Like, what is that
But
thing?
he's also not the only one that took this extreme. At the end of the second episode, we see Planaka. He is living by
Off on
himself,
himself, right?
in solitude, exiled,
Like
in a
pretty much
crashed
self-imposed
ship.
exile. Yeah.
Like, so he must also feel guilty about something that happened as well.
hmm
And we don't know much about Endara. She was just hanging out at some bar.
Right. And then she's dead now. And then with Soul, he's continued. He's
Yeah.
continued his work. He's continued to keep going.
But they also talked about that some, especially because Asha stepped away from the Jedi. So she was training to be a Jedi, and he was training her, and she stepped away because she couldn't let go of that past. And
So what is that thing? Yeah.
and I think that even though he was still teaching, I still think he holds, when he talks about it, some sort of guilt there as well.
Yeah.
So they're all feeling guilty. They're all
That
attached to
makes
this.
sense. Yeah.
What did they do?
What is so big
See-
that 4 Jedi are?
So yes, there's
Yeah.
the fire, but how are they involved with fire? That is a plot twist that you need to figure out. Not they're twins. Oh, they gave it up.
Right.
No,
No,
they
that's
didn't.
part of the story.
It's such a good story. And twins are always a different
Very
dynamic,
connected. Yeah.
dynamic in any kind of
Because
story.
they are sharing so much while they're being formed, even. I mean,
and so
that's a different kind of connection.
having them,
And then they're also Force users.
yeah,
We see them at the tree, right? We can see them both kind of playing with the little butterfly looking thing.
in episode 3.
Oh. Yeah.
Well, we know they're both Force users anyways because she was training a Jedi and May obviously was being trained by some sort of Sith.
Right.
And we saw her being able to force push and all that kind of jump,
with
the
Endara.
force jump. And so we know that she has force sensitivity as well.
Yeah. I'll just reminder to myself to go back and read that.
But yeah, so I don't know. I really want to see
what's the thing, right? What's the thing that everybody is
also
fixated on?
felt too that Osha maybe had a little bit of blame on May for the things going on, but then when May realized that Osha was alive, maybe she it almost seemed like how May spoke that she maybe thought that Osha was part of it too.
Oh, yeah.
So I feel like they were kind of maybe blaming each other a little bit.
And which, I mean, we know that just from seeing the previews, we know that they didn't grow up together, right? We know that.
And they were separated 16 years prior because of this fire. They both thought each other were dead. And so there's so
gonna be
many
a lot
layers.
Of big feelings. I mean,
so many layers to this story that we need to work through. There's only 8 episodes.
Yeah.
That was a lot to unpack in 2 episodes.
They don't necessarily have to completely wrap the story up at the end of the season, though.
No, and I know that I want to say that when they were filming, because they started filming this a while ago.
Okay.
A couple years ago, that they initially, when they created it, was already planning for it to at least be multiple seasons.
Okay. So we know that,
which is also
the story
why
can continue.
It's the biggest budget show also.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. It has the most budget.
I'm really excited to see where that goes then. What are we gonna get? What kind of cool stuff?
Welcome to the world of the High Republic, people. This is gold.
I'm loving these books so much.
And I'm so glad that as time is going on with these episodes being released, more people are starting to realize, hey, this is pretty good. And hey, people are starting to follow up more on the High Republic and seeing what it's about and what is going on. And
we're getting more people talking about the books and going back to read them to find out information. It's nice to move away from just the Skywalker saga. Yes, I love finding out lots of more little details to fill that in. It's fun.
Full of people.
Right. There are so many stories to tell.
People, we need to expand our horizons, and the High Republic is where you need to do it.
There's so much.
But what was I going to say? That
Ooh, that's right.
I Oh, okay. So we're getting a lot of planets here. Some of it have we've seen in other like name dropped in other shows and other books. But it's nice to see all of the there's Jedi temples at all of these planets. And
Mm-hmm.
so we're seeing the Jedi actually work with like the locals, which is really cool.
Right.
And being comfortable with the locals,
Yep.
not just
They
they're
actually go
monks.
out and they're involved with the
Yeah.
community. You know, they know the people, they know the locals.
Because that was the time when they were peacekeepers
Mhm.
and they were for the people. And so I like seeing that we
Yeah.
had temples. at
People
the
viewed that
different-
as a symbol of hope.
Yes.
Yeah.
They were our golden Jedi. I'm so excited.
I know.
You know what I
And we'll
really
just keep finding out more.
you know what I'm hoping? This is like complete off topic, but it involves I want them at some point to name drop the Nile.
Oh, yeah.
Or the Starlight Beacon.
Because both of those things are recent enough
Yeah,
that
they're
it's in their recent
yeah.
history.
And
Right?
especially like you have characters like Vinistra and Yaddle
Yeah.
and Yoda
They've been through it.
and several other ones who lived through all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But I would like to see the books name
in a
drop
little bit.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Because
Starlight.
the books are giving us such a rich story. Yeah. So if you guys have not started that, you should.
It's
They're
so
so good.
I'm just I'm living for the second phase, but I
Yeah.
can't wait to get back to my man.
Oh, yeah.
Not until phase 3.
I'm probably gonna finish Fallen tonight, but I cried a lot, so I put it away for about a day.
So what I did.
Well, yeah, exactly what you did. I did exactly what you did. Now I think I've got about 2.5 hours left. Ooh.
I realized in our Discord I posted up a picture that I needed to take down because I took it down and then reposted it without it because I didn't want to potentially spoil
Oh,
anything.
okay. Well, I don't know. So I guess I'm glad I missed it. Whatever.
I'm glad you did too. I'm glad you did too.
So yeah, what do you guys think? Have you watched it? Hopefully if you've made it all the way through this episode, you have watched it already. What do you think? Did you like it? Did you dislike it? If you liked it, what'd you like? If you did not like it, what didn't you like?
We do like open conversation. We do realize everybody has different opinions.
Yeah. Don't feel like you have to agree to us. Agree with us
value
to talk to us.
everybody's opinions.
Yeah.
We like going back and forth and having conversation.
Just as long as they're nice. Just stay polite. Be nice to each other. Be nice to us. We'll be nice to you.
This is a safe
Yeah.
Star Wars place.
Yeah, feel free to voice your opinions. Don't feel like you have to agree.
So from our galaxy to yours,
May the force be with you.
always. Thank you for listening to Sisterhood of the Traveling Bantha, written and produced by Denise McKay.
Edited and produced by Rexy Jupiter. Original logo designed by Tyler Rigney.
Intro and outro music is provided by the Galactic Empire.
You can find us on all streaming platforms at Travel and Bantha.
And join our Discord for fun-filled galaxy chats.
You can also sign up for our Patreon starting at just $3. You get exclusive episodes, merch, behind the scenes, and more.
And a special thanks to all our Jedi Knight members and higher. We have Rooney, Michael Beavers, Mark Collier, and James Peak. From our galaxy to yours,
May the force be with you.
always.